Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our development week. Well, exciting times ahead. This is our first session, and we're getting ready to start. I don't know if you are able to share it with others, but if you can, as other team members, not non-TLC members or team members. So we're starting our session in earnest. Apparently, well, I'm learning this platform, how to operate it. So I'm going to start the session in a few minutes. I guess the expectation is that I speak for about 30 minutes, and then for 10, 15 minutes, we do Q&As. And so if you have any questions on the right side of the YouTube screen, good evening, hello, anointed lady. On the right side, ask your questions, make your comments, say something. You can ask as we go along, but then afterwards we will take questions. I'll settle down with the questions. Okay. I think I'm going to start right away for sake of time. Let's just pray. Let's just say a word of prayer. Father, Lord, we thank you for what it is you're doing. We thank you for your hands upon our lives. We bless you. And we pray, Father, Lord, by your Spirit, even as we start off this development week, as we commence, Lord, you will guide us, you will be with us, you will direct our affairs, and you would use this tool as an opportunity to improve people, reskill them, and make us all better people for your kingdom and for individual assignments which you've committed to them, both in the church and also in their lives. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Hi, Tolu. Good evening. Hi, Stephen. Good evening to everybody. Okay, let's start our session. Well, my session, my topic for today. Good evening, Costa. Good evening, Yemisi. Good evening, Wilhelmina. Good evening, everybody. God bless you all, and everybody else in advance. I say good evening to you, so that once we start the session, okay, no breaks. So let's, like I said earlier, God bless you. Like I said earlier, please. I'm going to start the session for 30 minutes. Yeah. Good evening, Yinka. Good evening, Bemisola. So I'm going to start the session right away. As I start the session, we proceed. But then, you can ask questions on this side of the screen. Okay. And then I could either answer them directly, or I'll wait till the end. So I'm going to speak for about 30 minutes. I would ask you to please, but as I start, I would ask you, I may not, hi, Sylvester, I will try, I might not be able to break, to answer your question or to respond. So what I would ask you to do, if I don't answer the question before the end of the session, try and rewrite the question or represent it, towards the end. But if I see the question, I might be able to answer as I go along, but I want to try not to break the flow. But if you want to ask a question during the session, that's fine. All right. Okay, so let's get going. So I'm talking about this evening, the first session is dealing with how to motivate and inspire your team to perform. I guess the assumption for this topic is that, if you're there to motivate your team, then you're probably the leader or the head of the team lead. But you know what? Not necessarily. The leader does not always have to sit in the driver's seat. Everybody can lead. Okay. A team member who's not the team lead could actually be more motivated and inspire both the team lead and the team into performance, into better performance. And but that's that's a peculiar situation, and it can happen. I've been in a team where, in a sense, I was more motivated, actually even more knowledgeable. And I could, good evening to you all. God bless you all. I was more, but you see, in those instances, you have to lead with wisdom. When I say lead with, so that you don't is it upstage, or you don't um, put out your leader. You don't put them in make them look in a bad light, as it were, but you are complementing and not supposedly competing with them. So let's move on quickly as we deal with this particular matter. I'm going to read two scriptures, not just because I want us to read scriptures, but they are actually it's very relevant to what we're talking about here. And he says, this is Paul speaking. One is in the New Testament and the other is in the Old Testament. Then I delve very quickly into our topic. Paul says, let love be without hypocrisy. Okay, that's a tough one to do. Okay, so love people without being a hypocrite. Abhor what is evil, which means dislike evil things. Cling to what is good. I mean, these are simple instructions, but very practical. Hold on to what is good. Verse 10, be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love, and in honor, giving preference to one another. If we can do all these things, wow, the church would always be on fire. Loving without hypocrisy, all of that. Then it now goes on to say, most of those things are kind of like behavioral things, Christian character. And then it now goes on to say, not lagging in diligence, which means, diligence is a continued, constant effort to achieve, which means do not let your motivation wane. Do not become lethargic or complacent. Not lagging in diligence, which means continue to be diligent in what it is you do. Then he now adds something. It says fervent in spirit, which means don't let your fire go down. Don't let your excitement, your things for the God. Fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, not lagging in diligence. Don't let your work performance, wane, or for whatever reason. And then it then says, not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope. Okay, not so that you're not discouraged, your expectant does not expire, you are hopeful, patient in tribulation. Tough times don't stop you. You keep going regardless of the challenges. You are still, serving God. And then continuing steadfast in prayer. Continuing steadfast in prayer, that you don't slow down in your prayer. You keep, praying, always, distributing to the needs of the saints, as in you are helping people, giving them things, serving others, and giving to hospitality. Wow. Can you imagine all of this we're expected to do in a world that throws a lot of dirt at us, in a world where we are faced with challenges and vicissitudes? How are you able to do this? How you can only do this if you are filled with the Spirit continually. Okay. Then I'm going to read the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah is in the Old Testament, and it's Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 1 to 6. It says, but it so happened when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, like we are building the church and advancing God's work, that he was furious. The devil is not happy with you, and very indignant. Okay, and not just the devil, many people are not happy with us, and mocked the Jews. He was furious, very indignant, and mocked the Jews. Okay, so in the midst of you trying to do the work, there will be people, there will be not just people, spiritual entities that are trying to discourage you, who are not happy. They would mock. And he says, and he spoke before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, what are these feeble Jews doing? They would even mock you to your hearing. They would say, oh, isn't that church, whatever. What are they doing? They are to this. Will they fortify themselves? What do they think they're doing? Starting a new location. What do they think they're doing? Hiring the Excel or Intercontinental. And he says, will they offer sacrifices? They're always praying, super this, super that. Will they complete it in a day? Will they revive the stones from the heap of rubbish? All these people, look at sinners are going to the church. Can they turn those lives around? Stones that are burned. Now Tobiah and the Ammonite was beside him, and he said, whatever they build, if any fox goes on it, he will break down their stone wall. And then this is Nehemiah's response. Now, it's important to know and understand this, that, like I said, in the midst of you trying to do your work, your good work, you are a host, you are a team, you have people who are mockers, who are, look, is it only you? You are there at 7, you leave at 8, PM, you do this, you do that. Are you the only one? And he says, this is Nehemiah's response. Hear, O our God, for we are despised. Turn their reproach on their own heads and give them as plunder to a land of captivity. Do not cover their iniquity and do not let their sin be blotted up before them, for they have provoked you to anger before the builders. Now, watch this. I'm not recommending that you pray that, the people who are mocking you will be taken into captivity, that they will not, but his response is essentially, this is the main thing. They have provoked you to anger, God, before the builders. So then he now says, so we built the wall, which means they didn't let anything discourage them, and the entire wall was joined together up to half its height, for the people had a mind to work. What he's saying is here is, regardless of what was thrown at them, children falling ill, discouragement. You see, in today's day, in the social media, there's a lot of bad press about churches, pastors, another is, is the antichrist, even in the environment we're in, about churches. You can't mention the name Christ is the C word, or Christian, people look at you funny. But then how do you stay motivated in the midst of all of this, where we have work challenges, we have even issues at home and all of this, So what I would say is, how can you motivate and inspire your team to perform? Simple answer. If you stay motivated, if you are motivated, others will catch your fire or enthusiasm. That's what I found, generally in life. People, more is caught than taught. It's easier for people to, become what they see than what they hear. You say, people say, how do you make your children this and that? When you do those things, your children will become those, I don't remember really ever sitting down and telling my children, look, you have to really love books and sit down and whatever is, is what myself and my wife are, that they become the best. You are the best advertisement of what it is you want your team members to become. Either you are the team lead, if you are the team lead, or that you are a team member. Yes, indeed. And then another very key scripture that is very important, I think, that puts this in context, and we start looking at some very practical things, is that if it says in the book of 1 Corinthians 15:58, this is what it says: therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast. Which means don't start today and stop. Stay consistent. Be steadfast. Immovable. Don't let anything shift you. Oh, that my child, this is happening, so you won't show up. There are some people called pillars. Yeah, pillars means regardless of what happens around them, they show up. My son, I've told you about this many times. He had Kawasaki's disease. He was with my wife in the hospital. His temperature was going up. He could have died or actually convulsed before. My wife said, look, you know what, Yola, there's nothing you can do here. It's Sunday morning. Yeah, it's church. I went to the hospital before church. It must have been about 1.5 or thereabout, let's say about 1. And, she said, you just go to church. And I went and preached. I could have stopped. See, and these days people, just a little whatever, I'm sorry, and I do understand, you understand, but there's something about it says, be steadfast, immovable, that nothing can move you from or stop you from doing what God wants you to do and your work. It says always abounding. Oh, I didn't write any of these scriptures. We are talking about motivating your team members for high performance. Paul speaks about it. He's the motivator here, and he says always abounding, which means let always having good results. Whatever you do, make sure you are always abounding, that the work is always increasing in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord, that whatever you do is not in vain. Okay, knowing this all the time, every time you are parking chairs, anytime you are practicing the choir, anytime you are carrying speakers and fixing things and doing presentations, that your labor is not in vain. That is and also understanding that you are not, that really you are serving the Lord. You are serving not any man. It doesn't matter whether you are recognized or not. It's the Lord you are serving. Then he says here, always give yourself. This is another translation of this same verse. Always give yourself fully. You don't want to miss that. Always give yourself what? Fully to the work of the Lord. So, which means you can give yourself partially to God's work, because this is the other translation, because whatever you do for him is not in vain. One translation says, is not without value, which means even if you are washing cups, in the children's church, you are changing nappies, or what it is, you are preparing a sermon, whatever, workbook for the children, or something like that, other, whatever it is that you do is not in vain. Okay, let's move on quickly. The first half of this, I more or less spent it on, scriptural basis, but now let's talk about practical things. How can you motivate yourself and your team members? First of all, I will tell you how I motivate myself. First of all, always start with the why. The why. I'm going to talk about five things to do, and then to do generally, as in five, what I will call 5 handles. Okay, and then I'm also going to speak about 5 other things that you need to do with your team to keep them motivated. But these first 5 things are, as it were, are more or less the before things, that you do before you start off. So you want to have these things, as it were, as in a sense, like guiding things. Then the other 5 things is you kind of do them as you go along, as it were. Okay, so let's start. Number 1, you must always have the purpose or the reason for your doing what you're doing before. Thanks. You must always have the purpose for doing what it is you are doing, before you and also your team. So essentially, all of this, each of these 5 things, I'll give them, they're like questions. Okay, so the first thing is always put the why before you. Always put your why before you, the why. And this is the most important thing, whether you're working in technical, whether you're working in site management or facilities, whether it's in the choir, what protocol and all of that. Yeah, you can easily get demotivated, tired, lagging, if when you're thinking, oh, I'm here again to come and carry wires. I'm here again to do, But what if you always keep the why before you? I mean, it doesn't matter what even me as the pastor, when you're taking 3 services every day, what am I saying? 4 services, So this morning I really woke up tired. I didn't have enough sleep at all. I was so tired, and oh God, what is this? Can I not just tell them, look, I can't come today, but I don't have that choice. But the thing that keeps me, pushes me, get out there, go and do this, is that, the purpose is I put the purpose of what we're doing in front of me, saying, what I am doing, I am making hell empty and heaven full. Hell empty. What I'm doing today is going to save a home, going to save a family. What I'm going to do today is going to save somebody's life. It's going to, and guess what? I'm serving the King. The purpose for this is to bring people out of hell and take them to heaven. The why is important. If you lose sight of the why, and if your team members lose sight of the why, then they lose the essence or the meaning for what they're doing. And it's so easy to lose motivation, that because what it is you're doing can become humdrum, and kind of like monotonous, and oh no, and then you become discouraged. And so the why is important. Number two, also always put the what before you. The why is the purpose or the reason, okay, and the what is the vision, okay. The why are we doing this? Why? Then the what is the vision. uh, and this is about make the vision clear, make it clear. So one of the things I try to do every now and again is to share the vision. So I talk about the purpose. We're here to make the hell empty and heaven full. Okay, but also I say, look, if our church, you see, if there are people in our city still going to hell, then our church is not big enough. Yeah, because if you don't say that, if we don't keep this before that, look, we're not building an empire. We're trying to build God's kingdom. We're trying to, it's not just, when we say we're starting a new location, it's not to add, we're saying, look, we're creating more space so more people can come into God's kingdom. When we're talking about something like crossover service, we're not just trying to have a big party. We're trying to make as many people as possible, come from outside, people who are unbelievers, come into, we're doing anything and everything short of sin to make sure these people come, to know God. It's all about getting them into the bus that is taking them to heaven. And you see, if you are part of the team that is carrying equipment and all of that, so you say, oh man, I have to carry equipment again after work today, you have to keep those things in sight, as it were. You have to keep those things in sight. You have to, this is why we're doing, and this is what we're doing, and this is what we're doing. The vision, you need to make it clear. If you are the team lead, you need to ensure that you clarify the thoughts to the people about the vision. The vision is the picture, yeah. The purpose is the direction you're going. We are doing things for the kingdom. The picture is that, look, is like saying, yes, we want to build a mega church, or a church that it's about painting a picture. That's what a vision is. A church that is lively, vibrant, dynamic, blah 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 blah. And then, if you want to take the vision to the next level, is a goal by saying that, look, we want to build a 2,000 member church, blah blah. But you see, all of these things you are telling, it's not just the pastor that should be telling the people. You are telling each other, like, wow, this thing that we're doing, this, they are trying to do some streaming now between North London and whatever, so that one day we'll be able to do streaming to 50 churches at a time. And that will mean that, in so many locations, in Houston, Toronto, everybody is watching the service at the same time. Breakthrough night, you see, as we're doing breakthrough night here, families are being delivered in this place, that place, and, people's lives are changed. That's the vision. Remember, I started with the why, the purpose. This is the vision, and you need to make it clear. And when I say make it clear, somebody put it this way. It says, thoughts disentangle themselves when they pass through the lips and the fingertips. Thoughts disentangle themselves when they pass through the lips so what you say, there's something about communicating it, and there's something about writing it. We've put together a pack here with some values, distinctives, and all of that. I'm still going to talk about our vision later on in the development week, but I think it's important to know and note, yeah, that the vision needs to be made clear. We have to keep talking about it, okay? And then we have to write it down. We have to put it in places where people can see it. And as a team lead, you owe it to your team to tell them, this is what the vision is. This is yes, thank you. This is what the vision is. This is what the vision is. Let it pass through your lips and your fingertips. Then number 3 is the how, okay? And the how is, in a sense, the goals and the action steps. If you're a team lead, all these things are what are essentially, in terms of the purpose and the vision, you want to break down the tasks into small enough steps, that they're actionable. So in terms of car parking or whatever, look, we in car parking, site management and facilities, this is our role. This is important to the whole of the church. This is the purpose of the church. This is the vision of the church. Every once a month or so, maybe the beginning of, meet your team and say, what we are doing, if cars are not parked properly, so and so well, if people are not happy about their parking and this and that, people will not come to church. And what will happen is that you have fewer people coming into heaven, and just that kind of thing. And so, okay, our role, what are we doing? These are the tasks, these are the things we do. This, you want to outline and make those tasks clear, break them down to everybody, make it very clear that these are the things we do as hosts or ushers. We do this, we do this, we do this, and break them down. There's something about clarity, so I'm speaking both about, first of all, motivating yourself. Break your own tasks, the things you are supposed to do. I do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Make it clear. Yeah. So the how, we talked about the why. That's the purpose. We talked about the what, which is the vision. The how is the what I call the goal, or the action steps, from the goal. And this is how I'm going to do it, so that it's not anything that is vague and fuzzy will be frustrating. You're just even though you know why you're doing it, but it's not broken down and it's not clear. When it is fuzzy and vague, you find there's frustration. This is why anytime we have thoughts, it's important to write them down quickly, because you can't hold so much in your mind, and then you are just all over the place. Then number 4, is the when. How do you stay motivated so others people can catch your enthusiasm? And also, how can you impute or impart enthusiasm into your group? I would say the when, number 4, when. Have timelines, have clear timelines, because wherever you don't have timelines, everybody will just do their own thing. So you say to them, look, hey, concerning let me see, whether it is accounting or finance or what, what, we are here to count money, but let's do this thing within the next 1 hour. And then based on that, everybody is okay. We want to get out of here by 1 hour. We want to make sure this is so and so. Okay, concerning this project and this thing that we've been given as to do in the church, can we have this thing done within 3 days? Everybody knows it's going to be done in 3 days, and then everybody is getting ready. And then you all know your timelines. I do this all the time. We have office meetings, every once a month. And I said, look, you guys, between now and now, we have Valentine's Day. Can we try and get so and so, or towards what they call it, crossover? I said we have 30 days to crossover. Can we try and get 3,000, 2,000 people into that place? Can we do so and so? But you see, you want to have timelines and milestones, because those things motivate. When you break down goals into small, say, okay, between now and this, can we try and get, at North London, I've already given time. People don't know. I've already said all of these things. This is why we are doing this thing. This is what we are doing, but I say, look, can we at least do this for the next 3 months? Let's do this. Let's achieve this in 3 months. Can we make sure? If we actually had one goal before we started, in my mind, I said for the what's the name of the dedication, the inaugural service in North London, the long service. I said, you know what? If we get 150 at that long service, that would be a good start. If we get 300, that's really my target. We got 300 people, just 1 or 2 people short of 300, thereabout. I said by the next service, you know what? If we're able to keep 150 to return, that is, 150, just short of it, 149 or so return. And and then since then, 150, and that's a good start. So my team, I more or less help them see, by this time, this is what we should be. In 3 months' time, look, hey, we need to, and so everybody is, those things, timelines keep people, on the edge and keep people going. They keep you sharp and active. Then number 5 is the who of the assignment. The who speaks of the roles and responsibilities. So not only are we saying, oh, this is what we want to achieve, this is the timeline. The who is about who should do what, because everybody's job is nobody's job. Okay, so you are going to do this. You're in charge of welfare in the choir. Okay, you're in charge of getting people. You're in charge of checking up on people. Everybody has assigned roles. That way, people will be motivated. Everybody's role is clear. So those are the first 5. Yeah. The next 5 things, those are things you need to set in a sense beforehand, and you have this, you have the purpose, the why, the what, the vision, the how, as in the goals and action plans, the when, the timeline, and the who, the roles and responsibility. So now, as you're going on as a team lead and as a team, and you're already on in North London, wherever we're working on all of these things, yeah, what are the other 5 things? Involvement is number 1. The other 5 things, as you go along, you listen to this. It doesn't matter who is who in the team. You need to involve everybody. So your goals, your visions, and everything are clear. This is what we're supposed to do. We're trying to bring 300 people into this place, yeah, within this time frame, or we want to make sure so and so happens. And then you now sit down. If there are 5, 10 of you, okay, everybody contribute. How can we make this happen? You see, it is important to involve people. God gave everybody brains, though. You are not the one, even though God gave you, the assignment, or the assignment was delegated to you. Everybody has, the Bible says that the body grows according to each what each part or joint supplies. Okay, so there's something when people are involved in things, they are committed to those things. They actually put their heart into it. So how do you think we can increase whatever? I do that at our office meetings every month. That everybody contributes. Everybody is, I think, and some of the best ideas, most of the best ideas comes from the floor, from the other people. Okay, I'm the one God gave the vision to, but how can we increase, how can we bring more people to atmosphere of worship? How can we do so and so? Then number 2 is communication. This you cannot overemphasize. When you look at the book of Nehemiah, with all the discouragement and all the things that were happening, the key factor that kept those people going was their communication, how they communicated with each other. And when I say communication, and that's one of the areas where Satan will attack you the most, between each other, he will make sure that you are not, that there's interference. You are mishearing each other. There's strife. There's all of, so communication is helping people. Hey, you get new information. Share all the information. This is what they said. Pastor Ade said so and so. Pastor Shegun, said this is what Pastor said. And then there's new why that is coming from from the pastor. Look, Pastor said we should do so and so. You don't just say that, when somebody says, why the pastor? You don't just say, he just said we should do it. No, you say, look, he said we should do it because because, the why is very important. Communicating the why. If not, I always say, we just become hands instead of heads and hearts. It's very important, why are we doing this? Oh, because look at, today I talked about doing the travel survey, whatever. I shared why. I didn't just say, we are sending you an email, and we want you to fill it, blah, blah, blah. Don't mind your own business. Don't worry, just fill it. I will send it to us. Okay? Why is important? The reason why is because, hey, something is about to happen. We can't give you the full information yet, but it's going to affect all of us. It's going to be positive. It's going to make a big difference, and we need it by so and so and so. So communication is important. Involving the people. So even the survey, we involve the whole church. Okay? So because we're trying to carry them along, you need to carry your team members along. Then number 3 is feedback. Feedback. This is so important. Feedback. Listen to this. Feedback is about, I'm doing feedback to you. I do it all the time. We do a survey. You know what? When we do the survey, I show the whole church that thing we did the last time. This is the result. Feedback. Financial intelligence service, blah blah blah. This is how much we made last year. This is how much we spent. That's feedback. But in terms of numbers, this is what we did. The first service at North London, I showed the picture of the church. Why? Well, I'm saying to the people, this is what it is that you guys are doing. Your work. See the results. See the results. Yeah, and also feedback in terms of crossover. We kept saying, oh, make room for more. Everybody's making room for more. At the end of it, I showed, look, these are the numbers. This is what so your labor is not in vain. Feedback is, they say, is the food of champions. Feedback also in terms of feedback in terms of apart from this is what we have done so far, this is how much we've raised so far. At the end of the service, feedback is so important. All my pastors, we all get on whatever, how many men, children, how many. It's like, okay, let's see how well we did today. We have it on a weekly basis. It encourages us. Oh, if immediate feedback right after the service, right after, I don't like if I can get it the minute I'm coming off the pulpit, I want it. How many people, how many children, how many teenagers, and I compare it and all of that compared with the last week's on, and then the next is reward. It's important to reward our team, and also apart from that, help them understand that look, their labor is not in vain. Their labor is not in vain. That what they are doing, they will be, God, it's counting towards something in heaven. Like that scripture says, that you say, whatever we do for the Lord is not in vain, it's not without value. And then lastly, celebrate. Celebrate the team members. Celebrate even yourself. You say, after I say, I tried today, I deserve a good meal, I deserve to rest, I deserve to watch. Celebrate, rest, celebrate, but also celebrate together as a team. Celebrate, yes, after crossover and things like that, we thank God, we celebrate, and we celebrate the individuals. Wow, that was a good Pastor Beams. This thing is saying checking updates is canceling. I don't know if it's still on. Pastor Beams. Hello? PB? Okay, but please, it's gone off from here. Okay, it's back on. Okay, something came up and yeah, all right. So sorry guys. Okay, it is on. All right, thank you. So yes, and so the last is celebrate. I wish we had more time to celebrate, but at the end, if you remember, at the end of the year last year, we had a team members party. Those things are expensive, but they're important. Yeah, but every now and again, just take out your team members and go. Let's go and eat. Let's do, celebrate. Even God, by the time he finished the first day, he said, "This is good. It is good." Next day, it is good. It is good. Celebrate, congratulate your people. They are not slaves. They are. That's what they are, volunteers. And I think it's important. Anytime you have an opportunity, say thank you to people. Say thank you for doing it, because it's not easy, and we're doing it in spite and in the midst of so many things. God bless you. Any questions? Okay. At the beginning, remember I spent some time waiting for but so yeah. Any questions quickly? Any comments? Any thoughts? That's me done for now. Any quick questions? Right? Are we good? All is well. Everybody is fully motivated and fully understand. Thank you. Any questions? Thanks, Elizabeth. Any? Okay, thanks, Stephen. It's still on. Any questions? Thank you. Okay. What if you try so hard with your team, but they are unresponsive? That's an interesting one. Yeah. Well, okay. I guess every case is depends on context. Unless I know one knows, the actual peculiarities, either what makes up the team, or maybe there's some history before. Thanks a lot. Or I don't know what I don't know what the situation is, but there must be something that has resulted. Maybe the people are fatigued, maybe certain things had not been done before, or there's been an incident, or there's a loss of confidence or something or the other. There will always be, generally speaking, I have a philosophy in life. Inherently, people are good. That's my philosophy. And so I try to, rather than say, I have a bad set of tools. These people are just, inherently people are good. So what I try to do is that, okay, something has gone wrong here. Maybe some people is that okay, they they didn't have a great leader before, they are already discouraged. All of many of these things were not done, so things are just lethargic and just whatever, so you have to find a way to reinvigorate them, go back. All these things I've said, go back and start those things. Okay, let's start from here. Let's go out. You might even start from just celebrating them, starting from there, because they are already discouraged. Taking them out. Let's go to Nando's. Let's do. Maybe it's been, oh, hey, where are you are always late. This, that. So maybe it may start from appreciation. And then there are also human beings that you don't know what individuals are going through. Maybe that's the place to start. Okay, Pastor, thank you. Question. Please, could you respond with some practical steps with how we can safeguard against our team members catching not positive traits? Yeah, again, it's I guess that has to be what's the word? You need to explain a bit more on that. How does a team lead motivate someone who might not feel they are being carried along or might be the weakest? How does a team lead motivate someone who might not feel carried along? So if you feel the person feels they are not being carried along, then carry them along. That's like what I said earlier. Sit down and communicate. All of these things, most of these things I spoke about has to do with communication. Telling them about the reason why you are doing, and the telling them the reason is not like, oh, sit down, I want to tell you the purpose. Just in conversation. I do this all the time. Even when I say, this is what, we are here to so and so, LMT and Ebunfo. Just saying it all the time. And, you don't have to have session one, so and so, but if a person feels they're not being carried along, then you've diagnosed the problem. Evening, thank you for this. Please, could you respond with some practical stuff without we can still get our team members catching the not so positive traits? Like I said, you need to help me define that a bit more. Trying too hard can sometimes feel forced. Enthusiasm shouldn't be forced, but not true. Shouldn't be forced, definitely. So that's why the less motivated ones wear out the motivated ones over time. Very true. Okay, but then those less motivated ones, the issue is how did they become less motivated? One of the things as a leader you can do, if you have a team of 10 and 3 are not motivated, this like it's stated, demotivation is contagious. You know what you want to do? A few bad apples can spoil the whole bunch. They've come again. Look, this thing never works. Blah 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 blah. You want to meet with individuals and sit down. Look, it's almost like, okay, look, I've noticed that so and so. What's the challenge? And start to deal with some of it. Some people have been hurt. Some people have been offended. Sit down. That's what a leader does. You have to sit down. Look, okay, one-on-one. How are you doing? So how's your family? Because there may be other circumstances affecting this person. You understand? And you want to sit down and address those issues. How do you deal with a recurring issue or issues with a team member that is affecting the team negatively? I just dealt with that. That if something is recurring, you will sit down. Some people you may just have to retire them or reassign them. When I say retire, sit down with them and say, maybe you need to take a bit of a break and relax. And when you have whatever, come back. So that you don't, when do you decide to give up on a person who simply does not want to be motivated but wants to to continue in the team? Well, if you keep trying and they don't want to be, and you have done all these things I've spoken about, sat down with them personally, because it's a time investment is required, and they still, you just skillfully, well, maybe you want to take time off, or you want to just maybe go. I'm seeing that you're not, you don't seem enthusiastic about what it is we're doing anymore. And have a frank and honest conversation. That's important. Thank you. From a team member's perspective, how do you get team leads to appreciate the hard work that a team has put in, especially as the team lead has a high and possibly unattainable expectation? Do you know, as a team lead, communication is a two-way traffic. The same way you can sit down, ask a meeting with your team leader and say, look, this is what I think. And without being rude, look, let me tell you something about church and leadership. You will always find yourself in a place of either you are the leader or you are submitted somewhere. if you are a team member and you have a team, it doesn't matter how experienced or how much of an expert you are, yeah, or it doesn't matter about the knowledge you have or this and that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Wherever you are, even if you're under a 5-year-old and that person is, God is testing you. It's something I've learned over the years. If you want to delay your promotion, you have that attitude that, look, you know better. You might even know better. Remember my Pastor Zico story. But the issue is God has put you here, and you may be thinking the person above you is moving slowly. You can't, and all of that stuff, or these are impossible. You know what you should do. What you should do is you want to ensure that you pass on information in the best possible way that does not upstage the person, does not make the person. So you are more or less. I remember there was one guy who used to be. I wasn't the leader of the team, but the guy clearly did not know what he was. Well, I had a better idea. I was not even number 2. I was, so things we have, and this is what I'll keep saying. I'll tell the rest of the people. I say, look, you know what? This is what our leader is trying to say. The guy doesn't even know what. He doesn't have a vision. I say, this is what our leader is trying to say. See, I'm trying to, I'm putting him in the best possible light. And this is what, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to ensure, look, understand his heart. This is what he said. I say that in front of him, and I also say that behind him. This is what he's trying to say, blah, blah. And then I go to the leader and say, you know what? These people, they need more information on this. How can we, and I was an assistant pastor for some time. And that's what I spend my time doing, trying to communicate. Look, this is what Pastor Gbenga is trying to say. This is what he means. And then I'll go and meet Pastor Gbenga. Pastor Gbenga, please tell me the vision. Let me help you write it down and clarify it. Blah, blah. The guy will just say, God wants us to take the world. We are taking the world. We're going to move the prophetic, the kingdom. It was so as I was sitting down, I said, look, okay, what does this mean? By what time will we do this? Where do you see, I had the skills and articulation, but I didn't put it in anybody's face. I when I'm communicating, I say, look, this is what Pastor Gbenga is saying, and this is where we are going. God looks at those things, I'm telling you, and he honors it. And then when I did that for somebody, do you know what? My Pastor Tony didn't know. He just said, call that boy here. That was when they gave me my ministry. That was when I was sent to go and say, that boy should go outside. It's not that Pastor Gbenga told him anything. It is God. Okay. So from the next is, if you are a motivated leader and have reached out to every member of the team individually and collectively, they say they are committed, but then they do not keep to their word. What do you do? Okay. Well, an interesting one. You will always have stuff. I think again, once you reached out to every team member, you need to have an honest meeting with everybody. Okay, so individually, then collectively, this is what, and then again, set timelines, give individual roles and responsibilities so that it's clear. Okay, you're in charge of this, and then you watch. Okay, so that it's obvious to everybody. It is you. You were in charge of blue. And you're supposed to move blue to this place. You are in charge. Okay, let's look at it. Then you now see, oh, this person didn't do this, this person didn't do this. If everybody fails, then maybe, I doubt if that will be the case. Yeah. But then, you know what? You may need a team change. When I say team change, maybe you need to invest in bringing new blood. Maybe those people are tired. And tired people, you should be retired, in the sense that sometimes it may even mean bring in one new person. Bring in one, and you will make it. When I say make it clear, you've shown, okay, you do this, and they are not doing it. When I tell people do this, look, because it's the work of God. The work of God cannot be slowed down by anyone. You know what? I said, maybe this person is stretched. Okay, you know what? This thing must get. It's either I get it, or I will go and do it myself, or I find somebody who is enthusiastic, and I say, look, this thing is increasing in me, and this person has tried. Okay, let me bring somebody else new on. As this new person comes on, The person helps carry the load, and the person starts getting the work done. You know what? It will fire up the new person. It is either fire, or water finds its level, then the person will find, oh, okay, maybe it's time to, the thing is that I'm actually tired. I need to move on to other things. This is simplistic, but if you are motivated, further to my previous question, it is regards to more being caught than taught, e.g., tardiness. Okay, I'm trying to. Can you rephrase the question with the word tardiness then? And because I don't remember the question now. Being demotivated could also be as a result of a team lead breaking trust and confidentiality. Hence, the slow decline of interest in service. Eye service also an issue. Yes, you are right. That's true. And breaking trust with the team members, possibly. Yeah. You are right. And then how is that resolved? When the team member, you see, wherever there's strife, trust broken, and as Christians, the way to resolve it is by addressing it. Look, the reason why I am whatever, you have a meeting. I feel this happened the other day. I shared this. I said, that's how there's an issue. You meet the person. That's what the Bible is. Somebody offends you, or you offend the person. It says, meet with them and tell them their faults. Reconcile with and we are trying to make sure we are. Satan wants to divide us. That's the thing. And we are humans, and we will fail, we will fall. But then, we should not throw each other out, as it were. So there's something that while you're working with people, you will always have difference. You will always have issues. The issue is communication always helps. The reason why I'm you're demotivated is that, look, the other day, so and so and so. Okay. And then if you are the person that is said to, you know what, you need to respond with humility and say, oh, I'm really sorry, blah, blah, blah. Even if you feel you don't say yes. That's how, no. The person has come to, you have, if you're going to succeed in life, you have to understand human relations and how to be skillful with people, because you will always deal with people. You will deal with your spouse, you will deal with your children. Thank you for sharing all this. I can see that this information can be used across in all the true. What if you have addressed the issues with the team lead and nothing gets done? Okay, if you have done, I will say try again in a different way. And if it still doesn't get done, this is what it does. This is where you need to escalate. In a simple email, is not reporting. Look, you are more or less saying to the person next. I mean, either the pastor or the person that, look, and you are saying it in good. With a good heart and from a good place. I made some suggestions about so and so, blah blah blah, and I feel it will really help. But I think this person is really busy, blah 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 blah. Or but I just feel so you are not reporting, and you make it clear. Do you understand? But but you are saying, look, you are trying to consider. You are saying, oh, can you consider so and so? What essentially, anything we do, number one, always believe the best of people. Number one. Number two, also, always, what's the word? Put people in a good light. That's what you call walking in love. Working in love, yeah. So people are truly busy. Sometimes people forget. People tell me things. Oh, they make suggestion and blah blah blah. But let me say this: it's not every suggestion that is practical. You'll be amazed before I go and minister how some people tell me, Pastor, I think we should do this. I think you should say this. It's not every. You can tell me something. I hear you, but I also will run it by my spirit and say, oh, okay, that thing may be right, but then. Is the timing right? So if I don't do it, don't think I haven't heard you. You do know there's a guy who comes for what's the name? The Caucasian guy. He just started coming. He came for Super Thursday. Strangely, I mean, the guy seems like he'd been a couple of times. The guy, as I had been praying for the nation, Brexit and all of that. So I now went to the restroom on my way back. The guy, I just noticed he positioned himself close to mine, and he just whispered in my ear. He said, I think you should get us to pray, to confess our faults for the nation, for being so. And he then said, he quoted the scripture, as my people are called by my name. Do you know, I didn't know. I was wondering, how did this guy know this scripture? And between where he spoke to me and the altar, I started checking. Look, am I going to get directions from God? Could speak through him, but I said, what he's saying makes sense, but in the scheme of what, it's going to divert from what, but what he's saying makes very, so you know what I did? I just made a little mention, just using the one word he used, confess, just to let him know I heard, but I didn't do it the way he said I should do it. Because, yeah. Okay, let me come back to this. What if the person is personally good in their field? Oh, that's going fast. But not as a leader is. The leader is stagnating the growth of the team. I just spoke about that earlier. That, listen to this very careful. Hear this. If you are going to go far in life with God, God will put you in a position where you think you are better suited. God will put you in a position where you think the person is stagnant. God will put you in a position. So Samuel was under Eli. Think about it. The guy, his sons were sinners. The guy just sat down there. He didn't abuse Samuel. He didn't abuse Eli. David was under Saul. Saul was sitting in the position that God had told that you are supposed to be there. He had opportunity to deal with Saul. God watches all those things. He did not insult Saul. He did not tell him he was incompetent. Yeah. Okay.
What if the person is good in their field, but is not good as a leader?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was the same question. So my good wife has just told me that that's a different question. That what if this person is good in their field, which means they are good technically, okay, but not good as leaders. Okay. Good question too. Watch this. I mentioned the same earlier. Remember I told you I was under a Pastor Benga. Pastor Benga was very good at many things, but he wasn't a great leader. He wasn't good at motivate. Do you know, it is there I probably realized that, look, hey, I'm actually a leader. He's the one that was driving the bus. He's the one that he was good at prophetic, his own kind of prophetic and everything. Very good at that. But he wasn't good at, he would just say, the Lord, Isaiah, something. And, I am the one that will break those things down. And I did not usurp his position. I made it clear that I'm not what Pastor Benga said we should do this. I was one rallying the forces and all of that. So if you realize you are good, God, it's like, look at Pastor Ade. Pastor Ade is good at many organizing. I'm not good. Yeah. But listen to this. It will, it will be to his own disadvantage if, because he's good at organizing and telling people that, that kind of thing, that he now takes that place. No. God has given you that grace to advance the work, and God is wise. He's wiser than us, knowing that this is the person I want there. For as long as that person is there, every one of us has to submit. When you say the person is stagnating, let me tell you, God. I don't know if you've ever prayed to God for wisdom before. Say, God, give me wisdom. Anytime you pray to God, God, give me wisdom, He will give you complex situations that to say, okay, wow, it will look like, God, you want to finish me. No. He's teaching you wisdom. How can you tell this person? How can you move this thing? This person that seems not to be moving. How can we move them without making them feel like you push them? That's what wisdom is. Okay. How do you still stay active, motivated if you are no longer local, moved outside London, and can't commit as much as you used to? Okay, so essentially, you speak to make that clear to your leader. Your situation has changed. Those are natural circumstances, so that the people factor those things. That's communication is key. Okay, and then it's how do you deal with team member who always upstages the team lead by going straight to the leadership? The person doesn't really report to the team, lead, but would always go over their head. That's wrong. When it is always, always, always. I used to have somebody like that who was close to me, and the person was in a team. And anytime she has the problem in that team, because she's close to me, she will come to me. You know what? I say, go back there. Wanting me to come there and come and I don't do that. You know what? One thing I don't do is that I never break the order, because God works with authority structures, both the one I set and the one he set in place. Do you get? So yes. So okay, I'm told the last question. Yes. Oh, this is the last one. Okay. Okay. So yeah, without going over there, thanks for this, but dealt with eventually they fester. Okay, thanks. These issues are not dealt with usually. They're important, and eventually they fester and create strife in the teams. I really like this kind of format and platform. Yeah, I mean, even after development week, I think we actually need to have this kind of every now and again. You know, if not live, you know, problems come after praying for. Yes, definitely, it grows, builds you up very much so. All right, how do you deal with the member who continues to disrespect the team lead in front of everyone? That is, let me tell you, that's a very important question. How do you deal with a team member? Look, if you are a team member and this person keeps disrespecting the team, call the person to the side. Let me tell you, God is a I keep telling people, if you want to delay your destiny, disrespect authority, criticize them. What still you want to do it in front of everybody. You know, you may be higher placed, you may be more skilled, you may be whatever and all that. You know, God is always testing us, getting ready. So when you are doing that to somebody else, God said, then you are not ready for your own leadership position. You understand? So I mean, what you want to do, if that call the person to the side, say this is totally out of order. You don't do that. I'm telling you, I've been in leadership for years. Do you understand? I'm telling you, I've been under leaders that I thought, man, this is not the way to do this. But I will never in front of all the, say, no, that's not the way to do that. No. You know what you are doing? You are literally putting chains on your hand, and you're saying, you are not going to go beyond this point. I'm telling you. You see, the worst thing you can ever do is disrespect, leadership, even if they are wrong and it's blatant to everybody. To go up and say, those people, they don't know what they are doing, or I'm telling you. There are many situations you'll find me in. Now I'm a leader, but I'm telling you, it's clear to everybody that this thing is wrong. You won't hear me making the contribution. I was in a denomination for a long time. So do you get? I was there for years, and it's not everything that was done that I agreed with, or I thought, and there are many things I thought could be done in a better way. Yeah, but God watched me for years. Then He said, "Okay, now you are ready to go and lead. If not, you will remain in the same place." All right. So we thank you very much. God bless you. It's obvious. I'm going to be taking the session on Saturday at the Semi Center. So if you have any more questions after that session, I will deal with them. Okay. Thank you so much. God bless you all. We love you so dearly. And you guys are doing a phenomenal work. I understand many of you are doing all of this in spite of the various challenges you're facing. And it's my prayer that God will continue to honor you. And remember, the complex situation you're facing today is because you prayed for wisdom. You asked God, make me wiser. And He gave you complex problems to show that you have wisdom. God bless you all. I see you at the next level. Okay, so my good wife here is telling me to tell you, yes, to make sure you make as many sessions as possible, and you should do so, because they're going to be very interesting. I will actually also pop in some in and out as we go along. All right, so please, the questions are still coming. Please reserve the questions, and we will take them live when I meet up with you guys next. God bless you on Saturday. Love you all. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful, super Sunday evening. Spend time with your family and get some rest. And have a wonderful week ahead. God bless you all. Yep. End stream. Take care. Bye. Are you sure you want to end your stream? Yep.